Today, many seniors are unknowingly forcing their bodies to struggle against a fluid imbalance that can be corrected in a single night. My name is Dr. Jonathan Reid. In my 30 years as a geriatrician, I have observed that for those over 60, swollen feet are often treated as an inevitable decline. This is a clinical error. There is a precise bedtime protocol that forces your vascular system to evacuate trapped fluid while you sleep. When done correctly, you will wake up tomorrow morning with the thin, functional ankles you haven't seen in years. This is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of physics. However, you must recognize that your body is no longer forgiving. If your shoes feel like a vice by 6 p.m., or if a thumb press leaves a lasting pit in your skin, this is pitting edema. Your internal pumps have failed. When you attempt to drain this fluid overnight, you are relocating a massive volume of liquid directly toward your heart and kidneys. If you use the wrong technique, you are not fixing a problem. You are inducing a cardiac stress test that you might not pass. I have seen seniors attempt unguided hacks and end up in the ER by 3 a.m. gasping for air. I am not here to offer gentle tips. I am providing an absolute clinical framework. Follow this protocol to the letter, and the fluid has no choice but to drain. Deviate from it, and you risk systemic collapse. Before we reveal the steps, you must take responsibility. Like this video to force the algorithm to prioritize this clinical warning over dangerous misinformation. Subscribe to ensure you do not miss the specific protocols required for your age group, and share this with anyone who has accepted swollen ankles as normal. Finally, tell me in the comments, is your swelling in one leg or both? This data is the first step in your classification. The overnight drain is a biological mandate, but doing it wrong is a mistake you cannot afford to make. Most seniors want a fix that works while they sleep. I am going to give you that protocol, but you must first understand the biological stakes. During the day, gravity is your primary enemy. It pulls fluid down into your lower extremities. At night, when you go horizontal, you are attempting to reverse that process in just 8 hours. For someone over 60, this is a high-velocity fluid shift. When you lie flat, the fluid that was trapped in your ankles doesn't simply disappear. It moves back into your bloodstream and heads straight for your central organs. At night, your legs do not have backup systems. Your calf muscles, which acted as a secondary heart all day, are now silent. This makes the overnight drain a medical procedure you are performing on yourself. If your heart is weak or your kidneys are struggling with sodium, this influx of fluid becomes a clinical crisis. At night, your window of error is at its absolute smallest. Understand this. If you use the wrong elevation or ignore the cause of your swelling, you aren't just failing to fix it, you are overstressing your heart. I have seen patients try overnight hacks and end up in a state of acute congestion by 3 a.m. because their system couldn't handle the volume they sent back too quickly. In the dark, your vascular system is at its most vulnerable. To drain fluid effectively overnight, you must first classify why it is there. Applying the wrong protocol to the wrong category is a dangerous mistake. I divide foot swelling into 5 clinical groups, starting with the most severe. Group 5, cardiac or renal edema. This is the most dangerous category and where we must start. Here, the swelling is not the disease. It is a signal that your heart or kidneys are failing. If your heart cannot pump effectively or your kidneys cannot filter sodium, fluid backs up everywhere. This swelling typically extends past the ankles into the calves or even thighs. If you are in this group, the overnight drain is not about vanity. It is about managing a system on the verge of collapse. You do not experiment here without strict medical supervision. Group 4, medication-induced edema. This is a clinical shock to many of my patients. Sometimes the swelling is caused by the very pill prescribed to save your life. Calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, specifically amlodipine, are the primary culprits. They dilate your blood vessels so effectively that fluid is forced out into your tissues. If you are on these medications, elevation is only a temporary patch. You are fighting a chemical side effect with a physical position, a battle you will not win until your medication is reviewed. Group 3. Lymphatic congestion. This is often misdiagnosed and ignored. This isn't just water, it is protein-rich fluid. Lymphatic swelling feels hard or woody to the touch. It doesn't pit or leave a dent as easily as other types. If you elevate your legs for 2 hours and they are still swollen, your lymphatic system is overwhelmed. This fluid is stubborn. It requires manual intervention before you sleep, or it will continue to thicken and damage your skin tissues. Group 2. Venous insufficiency. This is a structural failure of the one-way valves in your leg veins. When these valves weaken, blood leaks backward and pools at your ankles, creating high pressure. At night, this manifests as a dull, heavy ache. If you see brownish discoloration or leathery skin around your ankles, your valves have been failing for years. In this group, the fluid is stagnant and becomes toxic to your skin if not moved. Group 1. Dependent edema. Finally, the most common and the easiest to fix. This is a simple mechanical failure. It occurs because you sat or stood too long, and your circulation was simply too weak to fight gravity all day. This is usually bilateral, affecting both feet equally. If your swelling is completely gone every morning but returns by dinner, you are in this group. You are not sick. You are simply losing the daily battle against gravity. Most seniors spend years guessing about their health. Stop guessing. Before you attempt the overnight drain, you must perform a 5-minute clinical self-assessment. I need you to sit down right now and look at your legs with a level of objectivity you've never used before. First, perform the thumb test. Press your thumb firmly against the bony part of your shin, just above the ankle, and hold it for exactly 10 seconds. Release it. If the indentation, or the pit, remains visible for more than 5 seconds, you have confirmed pitting edema. If it stays for 30 seconds or more, your tissues are severely congested. If there is no dent at all, but your leg is hard and swollen, you are likely dealing with Group 3, lymphatic congestion. These are two entirely different physiological problems. Second, look for symmetry. Is the swelling equal on both sides? If both feet look like identical balloons, the cause is systemic, likely your heart, your kidneys, or your blood pressure medication. However, if one leg is significantly larger than the other, or if only one ankle is swollen, the problem is localized. This points toward Group 2, venous insufficiency, or worse, a deep vein thrombosis. Symmetry dictates your level of urgency. Third, the morning reset check. Think back to this morning. When you first swung your legs out of bed, were they thin? If your ankles were normal at 7 a.m. but are unrecognizable by 7 p.m., your body is still able to compensate while horizontal, but your valves are failing under the pressure of daily life. If you wake up and the swelling is still there, your reset mechanism has broken down completely. You are no longer clearing fluid, you are accumulating it. Finally, check your skin's integrity. Is the skin shiny and tight? Is there a reddish or brownish tint? If the skin is changing color, the fluid is no longer just water. It is blood and waste-laden fluid leaking directly into your tissues. Write down your findings. You need this data because the protocol I'm about to give you must be adjusted based on these markers. If you have hard swelling, elevation alone will fail you. If you have one-sided swelling, you are in a different risk category altogether. Before I reveal the bedtime protocol, I must draw a hard line. As a doctor, I have to be blunt. There are some situations where watching a YouTube video is a waste of time and a risk to your life. If any of the following describe you, stop this video and seek immediate medical care. 1. Sudden one-sided swelling. If one leg has swollen rapidly over the last 24 to 48 hours, especially if it is accompanied by pain, redness, or warmth to the touch. This is the classic presentation of a blood clot, a DVT. If that clot breaks loose and travels to your lungs, it is a pulmonary embolism. It is fatal. Do not elevate it. Do not massage it. Go to the ER. 2. Shortness of breath. If your leg swelling is accompanied by a feeling that you cannot catch your breath, or if you feel like you are suffocating when you lie flat, this is not a foot problem. This is a heart problem. Your lungs are filling with the fluid that should be in your ankles. 3. Rapid weight gain. If you have gained more than 3 pounds in a single day or 5 pounds in a week, your kidneys or heart have failed to manage your fluid balance. If these signs are present, my bedtime protocol is not for you. You are in a clinical emergency. For everyone else with chronic, stable swelling, we are ready to proceed to why the night is your most dangerous window. Most seniors view sleep as a time of recovery. In reality, for your vascular system, the night is a period of intense mechanical stress. This is the window where most people make their biggest mistakes because they do not understand the physics of fluid displacement. When you are upright during the day, gravity keeps the fluid in your lower extremities. It is a burden on your ankles, but it is away from your heart. The moment you lie flat in bed, that entire volume of fluid, which can be several liters, is suddenly invited back into your central circulation. This is the danger zone. Many of you have developed bedtime habits that you think are helpful, but are actually sabotaging your body's ability to drain. First, the flat lay error. If you lie completely flat and you are in group 5 or group 4, you are essentially inviting a tidal wave of fluid to overwhelm your heart and lungs. This is why many of you wake up gasping for air or needing to prop yourself up with 3 pillows just to breathe. You are not resting, you are drowning in slow motion. Second, the hydration timing mistake. I see seniors drinking a large glass of water right before bed to stay hydrated. This is clinical nonsense. By adding volume to your system at the exact moment your body's already struggling to process the fluid in your legs, you are guaranteeing that the swelling will not drain. You are just adding more fuel to the fire. Third, the heat trap. Many seniors use heating pads or hot water to soothe their aching feet before bed. This is a catastrophic mistake for those in group 2, venous insufficiency. Heat causes vasodilation. It opens the vessels further, allowing even more fluid to leak into the tissues. You are literally cooking the swelling into your legs. Finally, there is the diuretic fallacy. Taking a water pill right before bed because you think it will work while you sleep is a strategic failure. It forces your kidneys to work at maximum capacity while your body is trying to rest, and it often leads to severe electrolyte imbalances by morning. The night is when your body attempts to reset its fluid balance. If you interfere with the wrong habits, you don't just wake up with swollen feet, you wake up with a strained heart and exhausted kidneys. We are about to move to the bedtime support protocol. This is where we stop the mistakes and start the mechanical drainage. But remember, more is not better. Precision is what saves you. Everything you've been told about resting your feet is a half-truth that is keeping you swollen. Most seniors think that simply getting into bed is enough to help their legs. It isn't. If you want to wake up with the thin, functional ankles of your 50s, you have to stop treating your bed like a place of rest and start treating it like a clinical drainage site. This protocol uses the cold physics of your own vascular system to force fluid out of your tissues. But it only works if you stop making these 3 fundamental errors. The first breakthrough you must implement is strategic elevation, and I can tell you now, 90% of you are doing it wrong. Throwing a random pillow under your ankles is not just useless. It is a mechanical failure. For gravity to actually move fluid out of your lower legs and back into your circulation, your feet must be exactly 12 inches above the level of your heart. But here is the whoa moment most people miss. If you only prop up your feet, you are creating a kink at the back of your knee. That kink acts like a dam, trapping the fluid in your calves and increasing the pressure on your veins. You must support the entire leg from the mid-thigh down to the heel at a consistent 30-degree angle. You need a firm ramp, not a hurdle. If you don't see a straight diagonal line from your hip to your ankle, you are wasting your night. While you are in this position, you need to understand the compression paradox. I see many seniors making the grave mistake of wearing their compression stockings to bed because they think more is better. It is not. Compression is a tool designed to fight gravity while you are upright and walking. At night, when you are horizontal, that same stocking can become a tourniquet. It can actually restrict the very drainage we are trying to achieve. You must wear your graduated compression, specifically the 15 to 20 millimeter grade, during the daylight hours. But the moment you prepare for this protocol, those stockings must come off. Your vascular system needs the pressure release so the elevation can do the heavy lifting. For those of you in the lymphatic group, elevation alone will never be enough. Your fluid is too thick, too protein-rich to move by gravity. You have to manually prime the pump. But don't touch your ankles yet. That's the amateur mistake. You must start at the top, at your groin and your upper thighs. Think of it like a clogged pipe. You have to clear the exit point before the fluid at the bottom has anywhere to go. Spend 5 minutes performing light, skin-stretching strokes from your thigh toward your hip. Only after the upper gates are open will the fluid at your ankles have a clear path to drain. Finally, you must realize that the overnight drain is a zero-sum game. You cannot drain the reservoir while you are simultaneously filling it up. This is why I put my patients on a strict hydration front load. 70% of your water intake must be finished before 4 in the afternoon. If you are drinking a large glass of water at 9 p.m., you are sabotaging your kidneys. You are forcing them to process new water instead of filtering the stagnant fluid sitting in your legs. Combine this with a total sodium lockdown for your final meal. If you eat a high-sodium dinner, even a hidden source like a piece of bread or canned vegetables, you are effectively putting a sponge in your ankles that no amount of elevation can overcome. This is not a suggestion, it is a biological requirement. If you follow this sequence, the 30-degree ramp, the compression release, the lymphatic prime, and the hydration shift, the fluid has no physical choice but to leave your legs. Most people fail not because they don't try, but because they believe in myths that have no basis in clinical reality. If you want the overnight drain to work, you have to stop sabotaging yourself with these 4 common errors. First, the drain overnight hack you see on social media. There are people telling you to wrap your legs in plastic or apply mustard or cabbage leaves to draw out toxins. This is biological nonsense. Swelling is a fluid dynamics problem, not a toxin problem. These hacks do nothing but irritate your skin and delay the actual medical intervention you need. Second, lying completely flat. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you have any history of heart issues and you lie completely flat to rest, you are making a strategic error. When the fluid moves from your legs to your core, it increases the workload on your heart. If you don't use the elevation I described, you aren't resting. You are suffocating your vascular system. Third, unprescribed diuretics. Do not take a water pill just because you want to speed up the process. Taking a diuretic at the wrong time of day, without knowing your potassium levels, is a recipe for a heart arrhythmia. You are trying to fix your ankles, but you might end up stopping your heart. Finally, the "I'll do it tomorrow" mentality. Edema is progressive. Every night you spend with stagnant fluid in your legs, you are allowing that fluid to damage your skin cells and harden your vessels. This is a one-way street toward permanent deformity if you don't start tonight. As a physician, I must be honest with you. This video has its limits. While the protocol I've given you is based on the hard physics of the body, it is not a substitute for a primary care doctor who knows your specific history. If you have chronic kidney disease, if you are on 5 or more different blood pressure medications, or if your swelling does not improve even by 20% after 7 nights of strict adherence to this protocol, your problem is deeper than simple gravity. You may have an occult heart condition or a severe protein deficiency that requires lab work, not just elevation. Do not use this information to hide from your doctor. Use it to become a better patient. Take your findings from the self-assessment in Section 4 and show them to your physician. Tell them exactly what happened when you tried the 30-degree elevation. This is how you get real results. By combining clinical self-care with professional oversight. We have covered a significant amount of ground today. We moved from the high-risk classifications of cardiac failure down to the mechanical reality of dependent edema. The takeaway is simple. Your swollen feet are a signal. They are telling you that your body's fluid balance is broken. You now have the clinical framework to fix it. Tonight, you will not just go to bed. You will perform the lymphatic prime. You will set your 30-degree ramp. You will release your compression. If you do this, you aren't just making your shoes fit better. You are reducing the strain on your heart and lowering your risk of the falls that land so many seniors in the hospital. Now I need you to commit to the data. Go to the comments right now. Tell me, is your swelling in one leg or both? And more importantly, did the thumb test leave a pit for more than 5 seconds? I read these comments because they tell me which of these groups is struggling the most. If this clinical breakdown helped you understand your body better than a 5-minute office visit, like the video and share it with someone who is currently struggling to walk because of their ankles. And if you are over 60 and want to ensure you are doing things correctly for your age group, subscribe. I don't give tips. I give protocols that work. Perform the protocol tonight. I want to hear about your results in the morning. And see you in next video.